So if you have stuck with me these past few months, I really appreciate you. I have been exhausted. I'm not gonna get anything if they die before they can ripen, so let's move these plants. This was the most consistent performer for my growing zone. Hello everyone, I have been a little bit MIA and I wanted to make this video to touch base with everyone. Nothing bad has been happening, we've just been so busy. My husband has been on terminal leave from the Marine Corps, and so we've been enjoying having him around more, and we've also had company lately, and just we've been so busy, and so recording meals has not been very feasible, and so we've just been making food as we go. Some nights we just want really easy stuff, and then other times we're just focused on enjoying our company. We are also excited to announce that we are expecting our fourth baby, and so if you have stuck with me these past few months, I really appreciate you. I have been exhausted, and I don't have horrible first trimesters, but it was still a first trimester, and I am starting to get a lot more energy back, and hopefully can be a little bit more present here. So today I am bringing you along as I harvest our garlic bed. This is the first time I've ever grown garlic, and I had a really mixed harvest. We did it in these raised fabric beds, as you can see here. This is not my favorite way of doing things, but I really just wanted to get my feet wet, and these were an affordable option for that. And I planted 3 different varieties. I'll tell you more about those in a moment, but as you can see here, it's comical the difference between what I'm pulling out of the ground. Some of them are a nice sized clove, and then some of them are absolutely tiny, and I'm not really totally sure what caused that, but I did decide to pick these because the leaves were browning below, and I've read that if you leave them in the ground too long, they can sort of start to rot. And then also, I left the flower structure intact on some of them just so that I could see when they were upright, because I read that when the flower structure stands upright, that's another sign that the garlic bulb is mature as well. Although I have also read that you're supposed to remove those, which I did. I removed the garlic scape from most of the garlic bulbs, but yeah, I just left a few in there as an indicator. And then also this week is Azure week for us, and I have some new plant starts coming in. I'm hoping to put them in these beds. I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough growing season left to accomplish what I'm trying to do, but I'll just be out about $10 if it doesn't work out. And honestly, our winter and fall and all of that last year was so mild. If this year is anything like last year, I think I will have plenty of time. Also, I didn't bother using a shovel on these. I tried with one of them, and then I quickly realized that most of these bulbs are in there so loosely, not loosely, but they're just easy to pull out. Maybe if I were growing some bigger garlic, I wouldn't be able to do this, but they popped out really well. All right, I had to wait until the kids were in bed and the sun went down just a little bit. My camera kept overheating earlier. It was so hot. It was 90 something, and hello, we were right in the sun, but I wanted to share with you how the different varieties of garlic grew, because I was really surprised at the results. I will have to look up what company I ordered our garlic from, and I'll put it right here. But I ordered pretty late in the season, and they were almost out of everything, but they had an option to where you could pick like a custom pack with your growing zone. So basically I gave them my zip code, and they sent me 3 varieties that they thought would be good for my zone. So I didn't pick these, they were just sent to me because I didn't know where to even start. They're all Hardneck varieties. The first one that they sent me was Amish Rocambole. I might be saying that wrong. Rocambole, I don't know. And what surprised me the most about this is how inconsistent this one was. So here is one of the bulbs. Beautiful. I mean, still kind of small, but I mean, that's a good success in my opinion. And then here's one of the other bulbs. And it was split kind of like this, 50-50 of really bummer kind of garlics. Although, now that I'm doing this, I am noticing a few weeks ago I went through and I popped off most of the garlic scapes, but some were still developing and they were really small and they were easy to miss. And These still have their scapes, and look how tiny the bulb is. So that might be my fault. But also you have ones like this where I did pop the top off a couple weeks ago, and it's sort of just in between. So this is what I mean by inconsistent results. It's sort of like I can't really figure out why, conclusively, I can't figure out why some stayed so small and why some got normal size. So that's the Amish rocambole. And then the other one that I think performed pretty poorly was the, I think it was called Chinook Red. I just have red. I was trying to remember the word. I think it's Chinook Red. And they were almost all small. And these ones I did, minus this guy, I was pretty thorough in topping these. And they're kind of, some are okay, some are kind of lame. And I've actually cooked with a couple of these because these were the first ones we started pulling, just because of the way they look. With their dried leaves, I thought that these looked ready based on what I've read. And I kept pulling them up, and they were really small, and they're kind of watery. They're kind of weird. The papers don't seem to have formed completely, and it's odd cutting into one of these cloves. I don't know if that's just because I have to cure it still. I'm not sure. I wasn't planning to cure any of these. I'm just going to process them and freeze them. So I don't know if that would change the texture of the clove. I have to learn about that still. But anyway, not a big fan of the Chinook Red. Now next year, if I have to grow garlic again, I will buy German Extra Hardy. This was the most consistent performer for my growing zone. I think I'm 7B or 7A. I'm right on the cusp, in between two regions. So I'll look it up and I'll put it right here, but I am like really right on the border. So it could go either way. We had a pretty mild winter. I don't know if that plays into this, because I've heard that a lot of garlic likes a really harsh winter. But yeah, this is the German Extra Hardy. And boy, there's still quite a mess. You can see almost every single one of these is a decent size. Maybe not this guy. This guy is probably the worst. But the rest are really nice. So overall, I guess I'm happy with this experiment. I am gonna start, I don't really know what I'm doing here. But I don't plan to cure these or store these any particular way. So I'm just gonna start clipping the tops off. So tonight I'm also going to take some time to relocate my tomato plants. As you can see, this one's probably the worst, but this one had a really rough start anyway. But they're dying from the bottom up. They put on new foliage and the new foliage looks fantastic, but down low they're struggling. I've been troubleshooting for various reasons. At first I thought maybe I was chemical burning them, because my fertilizer was more of an all-purpose NPK fertilizer and not a tomato-specific NPK ratio. So I watered them a lot more, thinking I would wash out any extra salts. And then I decided that they just weren't getting enough water, and I have been watering them constantly because they are dry. But everybody's telling me that tomatoes don't like to be watered that frequently, but they're dry, you know? They're wilting. And so what I think is happening is I think the deck is too hot for the tomatoes. So I have 2 down there that I've already moved, and I'm hoping that they will be happier down there. And I think I'm gonna move these 3 down and just see what happens. Hopefully we don't lose all our tomatoes, because I don't know if you can see that, but they are loaded. They're definitely producing way better than my tomatoes produced last year. I'm very excited, but I'm not gonna get anything if they die before they can ripen. So let's move these plants. Also, this is the 2nd year I've had an eggplant, and this is also the 2nd house that I've had an eggplant in, so different environments, and every single year I struggle with pests on these. This year I had leaf miners, and then something started chewing on this. Last year I really struggled with flea beetles, but I haven't actually seen and identified the culprit this time. So I have this covered in diatomaceous earth. What a mess, right? But I think it's working. I think it's helping, and it's in a lot better shape than it was last year. But boy, eggplants sure are a pain. Alright, all my tomato plants have been relocated. Definitely not my favorite thing to do. I think I broke a couple stems, which is a bummer. But anyway, I will report back and let you all know if this made a difference. And if you have any ideas, I would love to hear them. Thanks for joining. Bye.